Morning, everybody, and happy St. Patrick's Day. I hope you all are having a great day getting started here. By the way, I see we've got Puerto Rico on, which I've seen you here the last few days. Appreciate y'all being on from there. So, hey guys, I'm excited to share what we have to go over today. Morning, everybody. What I'm going to, and by the way, sometimes we learn the hard way, sometimes we learn the easy way. I have learned how to make sure everything's set up properly on Periscope with the settings and all that. So we're good to go there, or I believe we are anyway. So anyway, back to today's message. I'm excited to share it with you. Good morning, everybody. This is something that when I learned it, and more importantly, started taking action on it. Hi, Wendy. It changed everything with my business. It really changed the trajectory and changed our success level pretty quickly. So, good morning, Pam. Anyway, and today is talking about sponsoring up. I love to go over this. I've done this training a lot, and thanks for the hearts too, by the way, guys. Appreciate it. Look, most people have two lists, and by the way, if your list is not in writing, it's not a list. So please make sure your list is either in writing on a computer, somewhere where it's manageable. That's okay. Holly's tuning in too in the other room, and Max is barking. Anyway, and when folks have a list, they typically have two. So they have their regular list, and these are the people that they're comfortable calling, and then they have what's called their chicken list. And my recommendation is that's where you start. Now what's a chicken list? Whether consciously or subconsciously, your chicken list is these are the folks that you are not comfortable calling. Okay, now that could be your hands start getting sweaty and you're intimidated at the thought of picking up the phone and calling these people. Those are the folks you need to start with. Those are typically people that are more successful than you. Now, and let me put it to you this way, because it's just to kind of give you a baseline and an understanding as to welcome, Eric, as to the importance of doing this and how to we don't want to compare ourselves, so don't take it that way, but how to kind of determine who. Well, again, who's on your chicken list. Everybody's got one. So what you want to do is, let's just say that for the sake of conversation, that you are a 7 on a 1 to 10 scale economically, in your eyes. Okay, so what you want to do is call 7s, 8s, and 9s. See, most people, if they're a 7, they're going to call 6s, 5s, and 4s, because again, the people we're comfortable calling are those that look up to us, right? These are folks that good morning, New Jersey. These are folks that we have influence over, right? So they look up to us. They basically want to be where we are, no matter who we are, no matter what we do, etc. So, but what we need to do is we need to call the people that, again, on the economic scale are where we want to be. So that's intimidating, right? So why do we do this? And this is, again, really important to understand, because what most people do, if you're a 7, is you're going to call 6s, 5s, and 4s. Well, those people, let's say they join the business with you. Well, what's a 6, 5, and 4 going to do when you as a 7 have called them? They are going to call 1s, 2s, and 3s, right? So they're going to do the exact same thing. They're going to call, for lack of a better term, they're going to call down on the economic scale. Well, when you bring in 6s, 5s, and 4s, and they bring in 3s, 2s, and 1s, unfortunately, what you end up with is a team filled with 0s. And you don't want that, because they're not going to do anything, right? So we want to build a team of people that are successful, connected, influential people, right? So what we want to do is, again, if we're a 7, we want to call 8s, 9s, and 10s. Now, here's what this does, and this is where everything started to gel for us with our team, is when we call 8s, 9s, and 10s, what are they going to do? They're going to do what everybody else does, right? They're going to call 6, 7, 8s, 9s, that kind of thing. Good morning, Mia. And they're gonna again sponsor down, because 10s really don't have anywhere to go up, right? but again, they're going to do what's comfortable to them because that's what most people do. So you need to do what's uncomfortable to you because when you bring in eights, nines, and tens, they are going to sponsor your peers and it creates synergy. What you end up with is a team filled with your peers on the economic scale. You see eye to eye. You're again very commonly it's just a group of like-minded people, and we talk about that, and that's what everybody's looking for. So sponsor up to have a team filled with your peers, and you've really got folks that you can lock arms with and go to work with. So it becomes exciting, it becomes fun. And listen, successful people are successful for a reason, right? They're not afraid to take action. They're not afraid to look at opportunities. You know, we hear people talk about all the stories and the naysayers and the dream stealers and all that kind of stuff. Well, that's because they're calling people with a broke mentality. Okay, I'm just going to call it what it is. So, well, we don't want to call those people. We want to call the people that don't have that mentality. The kind of people where, again, obviously most people with our company, so we know what it takes to be enrolled in our company, but maybe there are some people with other companies that are going to tune into or even watch this afterwards. And, you know, so let's just use $1,000 as an investment. And they're going to look at it and say, it's only $1,000. Why wouldn't I do this? Right? Those are the people we're looking for. Why wouldn't I do this? So, here's another very important thing though. Why do we want to start with our chicken list? Okay. I think people are afraid of, well, what if I mess up? What if I do it wrong? I want to start with the people again, that are down on the economic list. Don't worry about messing up. You know, it's and I'm going to help you. I'm going to give you an invitation. I don't like scripts, but I'm going to tell you what I did, and what I want you to do is not that you work for me, so don't take it that way. But you know, what I want to suggest to you is that you take what I share with you and what anybody shares with you, anybody that's trying to help you with your business. And make it yours. You know, put your personality into that picture. But here's why you want to do it, and here's why you want to start with your chicken list. If they're on your list, they're on somebody else's list. Remember, these people they're connected, they're influential people. So, and here's what you want to avoid. And I saw this happen, and I still see it happen to this day. And it's sad when it does, but it's the reality of the business. I remember in our other business, we were very early on. We just launched the state. And here we had a person that we personally brought into the business. Awesome guy. I'm not going to say who it is. But, and he's with our current company with us too. Just very close friends, a rock star. He's a great guy. Well, he went away on vacation shortly after we started, and he gets back, and here we are walking into a presentation, and it's a double door. He comes walking in from this way, and this other guy comes walking in the other day from the other side of the door, and I saw the other person join the business while this person was away, and I had no idea. But they knew each other. So they walk in the door at the same time, and the person that we brought into the business looks to the other guy and he says, "What are you doing here?" And that's your, I think I'm going to throw up moment, right? And the guy goes, "I joined 3 days ago." And the person I brought in, I'm watching this happen. The person I brought in says, "I was going to call you. If I could have reached out and taken those words back from him when they came out of his mouth, I would have done it," you know? And that's one of those moments where you're going, oh, you can't wait. You just can't wait, okay? If they're on your list, they're on somebody else's list. Don't let them show up to a presentation and have you say, "Oh my gosh, what are you doing here? I was going to call you." Don't do that. That's just a horrible moment. So, all right, so let's talk about the invitation real quick, and then we'll wrap this up. Here's what I did, and I think it's important when you're inviting people again that are above, in your view, above you on the economic scale, is to, well, there are three pieces to what I do with an invitation. One is I pay them a compliment, and I'm going to give you a couple different ideas here and options, but I pay them a compliment. I ask them for a small favor, very important, and I ask for their opinion. Everybody wants to be complimented, and everybody wants to give their opinion, right? Everybody's got an opinion. They all want to share it. So what you're going to do is, and with sincerity, but here's what I do when I call somebody who's more successful than me. I'll call them and say, hey, listen, we'll just say it's John. Hey, John, how you doing? Awesome. Hey, listen, the reason I'm calling you is you're one of the most successful people I know. Okay, so I paid them a compliment, right? They love that. They appreciate it. Now, one of two things is going to happen. They're either going to say, well, thank you, man. I appreciate that. Or they're going to downplay it. They're going to say, oh, please, man, if I'm one of the most successful people you know, you're in trouble or whatever, right? So no matter what, I reiterate. I say, no, seriously, I really admire what you've accomplished. And listen, again, that's why I'm calling you. Now, of course, what I'm saying is, my wife and I just became involved in something that we're really excited about. But listen, my background is I've been an employee my whole life. Okay, now, and I was thinking, again, we're excited, man. We're all in. We jumped in with both feet. Now, why do I tell them that? I want them to know I'm in, I'm committed, and I'm fired up, right? So we're in, but Holly and I were talking. We're thinking, who do we know that is the most successful person that we know? And your name was the first name that came to mind. Okay, again, now I've reiterated that compliment. And basically what I'm doing in this process is helping them understand that in my eyes, they're an expert. Very important to understand. So, and again, with sincerity, don't be fake. Don't ever be fake in anything you do, obviously, right? So I reiterate that, and then I say, now listen, I was hoping you could do me a small favor and just spend 30 minutes or 45 minutes or whatever with me and take a look, not listen, a look at what this is. I want you to see this because, man, it would mean the world to me to have your opinion. So we've paid the compliment. We've asked for a small favor. We've asked for their opinion, but we need to get together to do it. I want them to see what I've seen is typically what I'll put in there. Now, if I'm talking with a business owner, what I'll add at the end is, hey, listen, it would mean the world to me to have your opinion and business insight. Well, now they're like, all right, okay. Here's what happens. What we normally do is we'll call up and say, man, you got to see this, da-da-da-da. And enthusiasm is important. That's awesome. But when we do it from that approach, basically, what often happened in my case is people would say, what is it? So they're asking questions, right? I didn't want questions. I don't want to back myself into a corner, so I have to answer questions before I can get together with the person. What we're doing, and I've seen people train on this and listen to them, is we're not, well, Dave Chihuahua did this on the Sunday call. If you're a real estate agent, you're not selling the house over the phone. You're selling the appointment to look at the house over the phone, right? So we're selling the appointment to get together. Now, a little twist on this. You can do this with anybody. Say if it's not somebody that's successful, you could, let's say you've got a negative brother-in-law, wink, wink, Holly, because we happen to have one of those. Well, maybe you want to call that person, and instead of saying, hey, you're one of the most successful people I know, hey, listen, if anybody can tear this thing apart, I know you can, right? So same thing. Find the compliment that's appropriate for that person is my point, right? So do that, and then, but again, here's a very important part, is when you get together with them, you must keep your word. We always have to keep our word, right? So you get together with them, you share your business opportunity, and then at the end, you can't turn to them because the premise of you getting together was to get their opinion, right? So you can't turn and say, okay, come on, let's go, right? Jim Mallory, what's up, my man? You have to then turn to them and you say, so what do you think? You think I got my hands on something here? Now, if they say, yeah, this is amazing, and obviously in our case, I've never seen anything like this before. This is incredible, right? Then you say, man, I thought so too. That's awesome that you feel the same way. Hey, let me ask you a question. You're still not asking them to join, right? So let me ask you a question. Who do you know that you think would want to lock arms with me and run with this thing, right? Good morning. And now the hope is that they're going to say, me. Put their hand up and go, me, right? Okay, so again, it's all about getting people in front of 100% of the information. That's the key here. So I hope that helps. again, it totally changed the trajectory of our business when we did that, because it's all about bringing, morning, Francisco. It's about bringing the most successful connected people that you know in front of your information, bringing them into your business, and watch your business explode when that happens. Because when those 8s, 9s, and 10s call your peers, again, if you're a 7, they call the 7s and 8s and 6s and that kind of thing, then those people are going to get involved because of the credibility of the 8s, 9s, and 10s that you've now shared it with and brought it into your business. Game changer, game changer. So, hey, listen, one thing, we talk about being authentic and, and obviously being real, and we obviously want to do that in this process. Look, success is a journey. It's not a destination. And that's one of the big things that I've learned in this industry and in life too. So one of the important parts on your success journey and on my success journey is that we're all every day not trying to compare ourselves to anybody else or be anybody else. Thank you, Holly. But to make sure that today we're a better version of us than we were yesterday. And to make sure that tomorrow we're a better version of us than we are today. So I hope that helps. Again, I really appreciate y'all tuning in. Have an awesome day. Enjoy your St. Patrick's Day. We'll be back again tomorrow morning at 8 to wrap up the week. So thanks again, and we'll talk with you soon. Let us know how we can help.